guess because you guys have been like around the longest out of the underground scene now. Where do you think, like, where's the future for you guys? Because you guys have been around for ages and like still rocking on. So
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things. Like, if people who didn't know or whatever, Aaron's actually left the band now, and he's actually our past drummer, former drummer.
He's very passionate about it. Still, you can see it.
We've got a new drummer now.
It was good fun.
We've got our new drummer is actually a guy who was actually involved in the underground years ago.
One of the first bands, Discarnate.
Yeah,
he's a guru. He's a great player and a great guy.
A guy called Kelvin Sugars, and I suppose for us, I mean, in my head, I mean, I can probably see us doing it for maybe another couple of years, but I don't know past that. I mean, we've all got careers as well, and I suppose we're sort of just waiting. That's what we've always done, is to just wait on what God really wants us to do. And I've always had it in my mind, as long as God keeps telling me to do stuff, that I'll keep doing it, whether I like it or not, and that's sort of the attitude I've always had. And as long as the doors keep opening, we'll keep going through them, or I personally will. And whether everyone else wants to follow or not is, I suppose, what the future holds. I mean, we don't know.
I think the main plan right now is just to get out one more full length, isn't it? Just do one more album, that'd be really nice. And then whatever after that.
Yeah.
Because it's really exciting having, Dan jamming again with, Darren and all that. And
there's a lot of new bands about to sort of really sort of start breaking
spark
out.
off. I mean, because you guys are, right there, like to, be just cool to see it spark off again.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah,
you're right. I mean, there's a whole lot of new bands which are sort of on the verge of starting to play, which is great. Yeah. So, I mean, who knows what God's got in store for us.
I can't wait till these guys play their first show, like with Kelvin, with the new guy, because he was always the new drummer. Kelvin is like, I'm so glad he's taken the skins. He's been my guru and my inspiration for years, and I couldn't think of a better person to actually do it. And I want to see my band playing with Kelvin, and I can't wait. I'll be there front row center. It's gonna be great, and that's got to be exciting for you guys. With the new guy, bring some fresh energy and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, my plan is just to basically stay in the game as long as possible. Like if it's if it's not with Embodiment, it'll be with someone else. It'll be some other project. But I reckon that considering how many old dudes still sometimes occasionally turn out some good music. Basically the plan is just to do it as long as you can. And not burn out. That's the thing. Like if you burn out, then you got nothing left, and then you're spent for the next 10 years, and you're bitter and jaded, and And that's about it. But if you can keep going and keep being productive and creative, doing something or other, it's good. Yeah, and it's from the heart.
I think for myself too. I think if the band does end, then I think I'll always be involved in something to do with music. I mean, all of my work is actually involved in music as it is, but I mean, I've always sort of thought about starting a record label or doing something like that, but with the band and my work and everything else at the time,
you've talked about t-shirt designs and stuff like that as well with your brother, those sort of things.
Yeah, just a lot of things. I suppose everyone's kind of got those things in the back of their mind, things they want to do, and I mean, I always want to do something which kind of supports Christian music. Like there's no real Australian label at the moment which really supports hardcore punk Christian stuff at all, and there's a lot of good bands out there just sort of hanging around waiting to do something who won't get touched by a mainstream label because of their beliefs.
Yeah, just waiting. So on that, what would be your dreams and visions for like the future of Aussie music, Aussie Christian music?
Well, I think just for it to continue like the way like bands. For me, like I'd like to see a lot of I suppose Christian bands, breaking into the mainstream and making a real impact on people. Bands like Anti-Skeptic who made it really big, and
Rhubarb.
Yeah, bands like those. I'd love to see bands like that just rise up, man, and just really just be a massive influence and have a huge impact on like the non-Christian kids and kids who aren't saved, and just to be really pivotal in their given scenes.
Especially bands like that, especially Anti-Skeptic. Like it seems that just the one time when Ceres was sort of peaking and they decided to finish it, then Anti-Skeptic sort of came up as like the torch was passed, and when you talk to Andrew, he's a passionate guy, and just like to see that dude, and his band to stay true to their faith and to their beliefs, and to be authentic. They've always been an authentic band, especially Anti-Skeptic bands, like be authentic, stay true to their beliefs, and really influence young Christian kids that go to shows and non-believers as well, and you know, as much as they climb the ladder, you know, not to be influenced by the hype of industry and all the things that go along with being in a band and stuff like that. Just to stay true, you know, true to God, true to themselves, and you know, be real, you know, just represent truthfully, I suppose. Yeah.
It's a bit controversial, but I reckon I'd like to see probably just Christian bands not just relying on the fact that we're Christian, that'll make up for like bad songwriting. Like it's just the same thing with all bands, but basically, you know, it'd be great to see Christian bands just really work hard on the music part of it, and so they don't have to worry about the image stuff, and don't even have to worry about being, you know, networked and stuff. If the songs are great and all that, you know what I mean, it'll really sort of that'll carry a lot of bands, you know, a long way, and you know, they don't have to. I don't know if there even needs to be necessarily a Christian label to support it. I mean,
totally. Yeah.
but you know, there's some of the early gigs and stuff. You know, sometimes they were like, you know, they promised the world and stuff, and you'd end up out of pocket and stuff like that. So it'd just be good to see bands basically, you know, break even, make a bit of money, you know, and write good tunes, I reckon.
Yeah.